Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the City of Menasha Board of Public Works to order. Clerk Galeazzi, could you please take roll call?
Alderman Benner. Here. Alderman Nichols. Here. Alderman Taylor. Here. Alderman Krautkramer.
Here.
Alderman Keehan. Here. Alderman Zielinski. Here. Alderman Zoshevsky and Spencer have been excused.
First order of business is to approve minutes from February 15th, 2016. Do we have a motion? Alderman Taylor.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes February 15, 2016.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have 3 action items this evening. Our first item is the expiration of the 90-day trial period for Clovis Grove School on street parking revisions. Director Radke, could you give us some information on that, please?
Sure, it's been a while, but back in August of last year, the Board of Public Works authorized this 90-day trial period on the suggestion and recommendation by the Menasha Joint School District. So we have carried the trial period out. The biggest change in this was the elimination of parking on the south side of 9th Street from Ida Street to Arthur Street between the hours of 7:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. on school days. And we've had enough of a time period to analyze the results, to witness what was going on there and if there were any problems or not. And Brian Adesso from the Menasha School District is here tonight on behalf of them to ask to make this trial period permanent, I believe is what your recommendation is, Brian.
Mr. Adesso, do you have anything to add?
I just have to add that, we're very appreciative the city has a process like this, that we could enter into a 90-day trial period to experiment. As you know or don't know, elementary schools are very difficult with the amount of traffic we have for parents, staff, and visitors. So being able to experiment with this for 90 days was really great. We worked with the East Central Region Planning Commission to kind of come up with a plan. We worked with Menasha Police, Lamers, Bus Line as our bus contractors, and Menasha Utilities to remove a pole. And I believe we have a pretty rock solid plan. I'm not going to say that there's no holes right now, but from what we see is it's working very, very well, and parents are very, very pleased, and so far we haven't received any real complaints.
I just want to add that I did check with Police Chief Steika if they had any input on this, and he had indicated that there were no major problems that they had observed or heard from. We also sent out notices to the neighbors and property owners in this area, and I did not hear anything. I don't know if Alderman Keehan did. I did ask or indicate that they could contact either you or me, and we would relate their concerns or attend the meeting tonight.
Alderman Taylor.
I'll make a motion to that the trial period for Clovis Grove on-street parking be made permanent.
Actually, we would direct the attorney to prepare that ordinance to do that.
Okay. I will direct the attorney to prepare the trial period for Clovis Grove on-street parking as a permanent document.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Alderman Keehan.
I have not heard from anybody in response to your letter. In speaking with people in the neighborhood, living on Ida Street, obviously I'm impacted by it as well. It's been a very positive, I guess, experience insofar as not having as many staff parking, blocking mailboxes, or even garbage pickup. So on that side, it's been great. And then in talking to people who live in the neighborhood who had previously had concerns that I've talked with Director Radke about where people were parking too close and they couldn't see at the intersections. That's a moot point because we painted those and they were happy with the actual flow of the traffic. So I think the 90-day experiment was a good one, and it's definitely a favorable resolution.
Any further discussion? Alderman Taylor?
I'm not surprised. Anytime you bring multiple groups together and looking at a situation, we always come up with the best possible solution. And taking our time sometimes with a 90-day trial and then assessing that, everybody to chime in on it, it always works great. It's good government.
Alderman Zelinski?
Thank you. Back to staff. Where is staff? Are they required to park in a certain area, or can they still park out in the non-designated areas out in the streets?
We're directing staff to park behind the building on Ida Street, not on the street, but in that parking lot back there. And then we're also directing them to park in front of the building, and we're pushing them every time we could see them to fill up those lots. If we don't fill them up, parents will fill them up, and then we're back to where we started. So we're pushing very hard to get 100% of those spots filled, or leaving a couple open for visitors, I guess.
Okay, that was my only concern, because I own a house on the corner of Ida and 9th, and they were always the staff was always parking in front of that house. And they'd be there for, I don't know, well, their duration of their shift time or their work time, and if you're pushing for them to park in their designated areas, I haven't been by there lately to see if they're parking out in front of the neighbors' houses at this point, but maybe Alderman Keehan can keep an eye on that and report back to us. Thank you.
Alderman Taylor?
From the school standpoint, has there ever been any discussion with the terrorism climate in this country about not having cars parked too close to schools, or has that discussion come about yet, or?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, thanks.
Any further discussion? Let's take a vote, please.
Motion carried on roll call 6-0.
Our second action item is recommendation to increase, or recommend to increase the tire disposal fees. Director Radke, could you give us some information on that, please?
Sure. There is a report from Deputy Director Adam Alex in the packet, and just real quickly, we became aware of a change in the tire disposal fee from the Winnebago County Solid Waste Board that occurred last year. The change in the fees impacted the single tire disposal for passenger vehicles, trucks, and tractors. It did not impact the truckload fee for tires, which remains at $175 per ton. So in doing some assessment and analysis of where we stand with this, we did find out that we're running a deficit based on what we take in versus what we pay. But we have to understand that what we pay also includes the disposal of our own fleet junk tires. Obviously, we don't have a fee for that in paying ourselves. So what we would like to do is, first of all, recommend that we do match the fees increase that have been imposed by Winnebago County on those individual tires. The city does not collect tires at the curbside. We have a drop-off site at our Public Works facility, and these are the fees that are charged. Then we would also start keeping track of the tires that are disposed of by our department versus those that we take in from city residents, and do a better job on accounting for that, and see if we are maintaining a revenue source to match our expenditure. So we're recommending a change in the fee from the $3, $5, and $7 to $4, $6, and $9 for the various tires. And municipal code does direct that the Board of Public Works authorize these changes. It does not have to go to council. So you would be making a motion to either recommend or not recommend these fee changes.
Director Radke, could you tell us how that compares to a couple surrounding communities, Neenah and Appleton?
Well, Neenah and City of Neenah and City of Oshkosh do not accept tires at their facility. They direct the residents to Winnebago County landfill. The only other communities that we checked on were City of Appleton has a curbside collection at $5 a tire with a maximum of 4 tires that they would collect. And Town of Menasha relies on their private hauler, and they have a rather steep fee of $32.30 per tire. For some reason, they came up with that figure. So I'm guessing that most of their residents would also dispose of those at the Winnebago County landfill at that price.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there a motion? Oh, Alderman Taylor.
I'll make a motion to increase in the tire disposal fees as stated.
Motion a second. Any discussion? Alderman Zelinski.
Thank you. Mark, do you know of anything, every time someone has a tire change, there's a disposal fee. Is that only if the tire's changed or when you buy it?
I don't know the
Because
answer
the
to
state,
that.
these tires had to have been cycled through already. So I know there's a fee every time I have my tires changed. Where is the state going with all these dollars that for every tire that's been changed? Because I have next to our shop, there's a service station. He says, I wish I changed all those tires. People are just dropping off behind there. Because with every positive action, there's a negative reaction. And how many are you finding on the street that we're cycling through that just end up in our recycling unit or in the back of the garage? And because we've been having
Surprisingly,
a big-
I haven't heard that we have had that problem, but I can ask our staff.
Well, we've been even
He hasn't
noticing that
mentioned
with,
anything.
with air conditioning units and stuff, all of a sudden they just mysteriously arrive in the back of the city garage, and we don't get the update like we used to get. After Alderman, or Mr. Jacobson retired, there was an update of all this wayward stuff that was coming to the garage.
Yeah, I would have to ask them.
I was just wondering if there's any help through the state on this, because every one of these tires has been cycled through at some point, and somebody's collecting a fee. I don't know if it's on the tire or if it's just when they're swapped out.
And I don't know the answer to that. I just know that there's a cost to dispose of them. You know,
Yes.
Winnebago County deals with a contractor, and I'm not sure what they do with them, but it's kind of a pass-through charge.
But that might be something they'd contact a state representative and see if there's funding for this, so these tires don't end up in fields. I go on bike rides and all of a sudden you see 4 or 5 tires in a field, which, you know, this guy that had the field just didn't throw them out there. Somebody's emptying out their pickup truck in the middle of the night and avoiding that cost. And I just want to know if there's some money's collected out there that should be coming back to the city. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Alderman Benner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mark, so I'm assuming that basically our tires are coming from 2 places, one commercial businesses that we're picking them up at when we pick up their, no?
No.
They're only from the city garage, people that drop it off there?
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm.
So what are the commercial businesses doing that now?
I'm not sure where they're disposing of theirs, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure
Well, yeah,
they're
they
paying,
pay,
but I don't know.
I assume we're getting them and then disposing them for them and charging them.
Greg is saying most of them have contracts with recyclers that come around and pick them up.
I know they do recycle tires, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. And my brother sells tires, but I just didn't know, you know?
Yeah, no, these are
He just tells me he has to pay to
resident-
get rid of them, so.
Mhm. Individual,
Yeah, he doesn't give me a break
Residents.
either. All right, thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, let's take a roll call vote, please.
Motion carried on roll call 6-0.
For action item 3, the resolution number should read R-8-16. In some of our packets, it's R-7-16. So again, the resolution number is R-8-16. And it's a resolution relating to highway access in the vicinity of Province Link, introduced by Mayor Marcus. Greg, do you have some information? Director Kyle? The highway access in the vicinity of Province Link.
So as sort of I described in my memo, Province Link was created via a certified survey map. And at the time that the certified survey map was filed, there was no subsequent driveway permit application made to DOT. And so it's essentially an unpermitted access. And what we're seeking to do is get that permitted, and DOT has asked us to place certain restrictions on how Province Link and Oneida Street would be accessed in order for them to grant that permit.
Okay. Thank you, Director. Is there a motion? Alderman Taylor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution R-8-16 relating to highway access in the vicinity of Province Link, introduced by Mayor Merkes.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, could we take a roll call vote, please?
Motion carried on roll call 6-0.
There are no other action items that I see, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion a second. All in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.